Gentlemen, welcome to this special council meeting of the Council of the Town of Oakville. We have regrets this evening from Councillors Lapworth and O'Meara. Councillor, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Madam Clerk, there are none. We have no registered delegations this evening, and we only have one discussion item, being the matter for which this special meeting of council has been called, and that is Bylaw 2017-138, a bylaw to designate the Glen Abbey Golf Course property located generally at 1333 Doorbell Drive. And Council, you have your report from the Planning Services Department. I have a few prefatory remarks, and then if you have questions, staff would be pleased to answer them. I want to thank the members of the public for taking time to come out to tonight's special meeting and to be with us as Council considers the bylaw to designate the Glen Abbey Golf Course as a property of cultural heritage value or interest. I know this is a very busy time of year, and Council appreciates that you took the time to be here. Many of the public have been participating in the town's debate on cultural heritage landscapes since Council first gave direction to staff to develop a cultural heritage landscape strategy for the town in January 2014. So I hope you won't mind if I just spend a minute to outline the long and comprehensive process that the town underwent to arrive at where we are tonight. The conservation of significant landscapes was introduced in Ontario through the 1994 Provincial Policy Statement, more commonly known as the PPS. For those who aren't familiar with the Provincial Policy Statement, it's a critical provincial planning document that sets out the government's policies for land use planning. It applies province-wide, and it provides clear policy direction on land use planning to promote strong communities, a strong economy, and a clean and healthy environment. The Provincial Policy Statement actually states, and I quote, "Significant built heritage resources and significant cultural heritage landscapes shall be conserved." This has been a long time coming. Work on the town's cultural heritage landscape strategy actually began in 2013. Glen Abbey was one of 8 priority properties identified in the town's inventory of cultural heritage landscapes in February 2016, and was one of 6 properties identified for a detailed Phase 2 assessment. The Phase 2 assessment was a rigorous process involving the landowner, the community, numerous cultural heritage experts, and town staff. As a result of this work, in May of this year, Council voted to recognize Glen Abbey as one of 4 significant cultural heritage landscape properties in the town. As part of that vote, Council also requested that town staff proceed with the implementation of appropriate protection and conservation measures, giving priority to Glen Abbey. On August 21st, Council approved a staff recommendation endorsed by the Heritage Oakville Advisory Committee to designate the Glen Abbey property under Section 29 of the Ontario Heritage Act. A formal notice of intention to designate was issued by the town on August 24th, 2017. This notice set out a very detailed statement of cultural heritage value or interest of the property, including its design and physical value, its historic associative value, and the contextual value of the golf course as a landmark within the town of Oakville, as well as the specific heritage attributes that support these values. Although the property owner, ClubLink, did not register an objection to the designation, the mortgagee for the property, Pacific Life Insurance, did object to the designation. The next step in the process would have been a hearing before the Conservation Review Board. In fact, a pre-hearing had been scheduled for earlier today. However, because Pacific Life withdrew its objection earlier this week, the Conservation Review Board closed its file with respect to the objection. Under Section 29 of the Act, Council is now required to either proceed with its designation as if no objection had been received, or to withdraw our intention to designate. That is the decision Council will be making tonight. I now will turn to Council to ask questions if they have any of staff. You have to understand that Council and I have been working on this, as I've just described, for quite a few years. And if there's any questions left, I'll be very surprised. But if there aren't any, I need you to know that that would be why. I want to thank everybody again for their interest in the subject. And it's good to see you all here. Council, do any of you have questions on the matter before us? Shall I put the matter on the floor then? Council, with your permission, may I claim I'll call it the honor of moving the recommendation that bylaw 2017-138, a bylaw to designate the Glen Abbey Golf Course property located generally at 1333 Dorval Drive, be passed. And may I have a second? Councillor Elgar? Councillor Elgar, it'll be a pleasure to have a recorded vote. I believe that we're, Mr. Carr, are you content with what we're doing? Yes, sir. All right. We're blessed by legal, blessed by your familiarity with it. To be recorded in favor of the measure, please rise to be named. Councillor Lischina, Councillor Adams, Councillor Grant, Councillor Knoll, Councillor Elgar, Councillor Hutchins, Councillor Giddings, Councillor Chisholm, Councillor Grant, Councillor Robinson, and Mayor Burton. Oh, sorry, what? Got it. I'm sorry. You know, I think that might be the second time in 11 years I've done that. Let me clean my glasses. And I'm voting in favor of it. I declare the measure carried unanimously, and I beg your pardon. It was the excitement of the moment. All right. Now that we've voted and made this historic step, I'd like to note that the town has a long tradition of identifying and conserving our heritage, and tonight's designation is the next step in that long tradition. That tradition predates this council. We were one of the first municipalities to have designated heritage conservation districts, and we now have 4 of them. So it's not surprising that Oakville is taking a leadership role among municipalities in inventorying and protecting cultural heritage landscapes. And while this is a critical step towards conservation of the Glen Abbey Golf Course property as a cultural heritage landscape, town staff is continuing work on supporting official plan and zoning bylaw amendments and municipal bylaws to further these conservation efforts. Public input on these proposed amendments and bylaws can be given at upcoming meetings. There is a public open house on January 10th, 2018 to share information and get feedback on the proposed conservation plan and its related bylaws, zoning, and official plan amendments. A Planning and Development Council meeting is scheduled for January 30th, 2018 to consider those items. And now, I thank you very much for being here. I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season. And God bless Oakville, and we'll see you in the new year. I need a, thank you. Mr. Solicitor?
The item on the agenda next is consideration and reading of bylaws.
We're about to do that.
Thank you.
I know, after I got Kathy's name wrong, I worried everybody, right? So I now need a mover and seconder for the bylaws. Councillor Lischina, Councillor Knoll, and the bylaw 2017-138 enacts item 1, which we passed earlier, and 139 is the confirmatory bylaw. All those in favor, show your hands. Any opposed? They're carried unanimously. It's been great working with you. It's been a heck of a year, and we'll see you in the new year. We're adjourned.